2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 says, "We walk by faith, not by sight." I love this scripture. There is a song, Walk by Faith. You've probably heard it. There have been many different versions of it. And we want to live this way, don't we? We want to walk by faith, not by sight. But when we do walk by faith, there's this fear that we feel in the process of doing so, right? If you've ever felt this fear and you've always wondered how to walk by faith without feeling so afraid, then this video is for you. I'm Alana Palm, Christian trauma release and mind renewal specialist. And I'm here to really help you be able to press into God, release the pain, the hurt, and the trauma of the past, and be able to fully rest in Him, to experience His love and peace every single day. And what I know is that the way we all want to walk through life is by faith. We want to be these faith-filled women who, just kind of trust God, right? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him and He will make your paths straight. Favorite scripture, right? Of so many of us. Yet, how do we live that out? How do we actually trust Him and walk by faith, not by sight? We hear, blessed are those who believe without seeing, right? Poor Thomas, right? But it's so many of us, isn't it? And how do we trust that God's working it all together for good? So it's not just lip service. We're not just saying the scripture that we want to trust you, God, and we do trust you, but we actually have a posture of trust and faith. So what I know is that when we make this decision to walk by faith, it can feel very frightening. We sometimes think, okay, I'm going to walk by faith, but what if God doesn't come through for me? What if He doesn't actually fulfill His promises? What if He doesn't protect me? What if He doesn't provide for me? What if I don't have that money I need? Like, what if I get hurt? And here's the thing. We might get hurt. We might get physically hurt. We might get emotionally hurt. We might have thoughts about ourselves that are very hurtful if somebody hurts us. All of those things can happen. In His Spirit, we are fully protected, fully provided for, and all of His promises are true for us and will be fulfilled in His perfect way into eternity. On this earth, though, we are subject to pain and hurt. Even Jesus was, right? To a large degree. How did He move through all of that? Because He had a faith and a trust in God's greater plan. And this is where we get to be. We get to be in a place of saying, okay, I can live life afraid, and we can, right? We can live life so afraid and almost like waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't know if you've ever been this way where it's like almost we're hyper vigilant. When is the other shoe going to drop? What's going to happen? I need to prepare myself. So we almost walk around with like this hazmat suit on, like, I don't want to let anything touch me. And if you've lived that way, it's not your fault. It's very common. And I just want you to just notice, just spend some time noticing where you are living life afraid. And where there is fear, we're not really living in faith. And if you want to live in faith, why is that fear so strong within you? How is it trying to protect you? And think about it this way. God says He's our protector. So why are we trying to protect ourselves? Why are we doing it in our own strength? Why are we not resting in His protection? So somewhere along the way, you learned from trauma, pain, and hurt of your past that you had to do things in your own strength. If you do it in your own strength, then you have control. You have power to protect yourself. And I'm just curious, how well has that worked? Because I know that I have tried to protect myself many times. And a lot of times it was a false sense of protection. A lot of times I got hurt anyway. I got rejected. I got abandoned. I got hurt. And sometimes the more protected I was, the more hurt I got because I was almost expecting it to happen. And it almost became this self-fulfilling prophecy. And I just wonder for you, how is that fear actually serving you? It is supporting you in some way. It is trying to keep you safe. It's trying to help you feel in control. It's trying to help you feel protected. But the fear might not realize that it's actually out of alignment with God. And while you're out of alignment with God, you're in sin. You'll never experience His rest fully because you're not connected to Him. So in order to walk by faith, like you get to connect to Him and you get to trust Him. Now, here's the thing. The benefit of doing it is that you get to walk through life feeling freedom. We walk through life with this beautiful freedom when we're not so afraid. And sometimes that freedom can feel scary if we're not used to it. Or maybe you experienced freedom before and you walked by faith and you felt like you got burned. And it's different walking in that place in your head versus your heart. When you walk in that posture, there's an air about you. There is this supernatural protection around you, and you just feel free. Almost like I liken it to, feeling like you're going through life just trudging through the mud. You're in this muddy swamp and you're just trudging through, trying to get through. And God provides you this little boat that floats on the mud, and you can just jump in the boat and you can actually go through and stay on the boat and float above the mud. You don't have to work so hard. You just trust that God's going to guide you through. A lot of us want to work harder. We work way too hard. God offers his rest to us. He wants to carry your burdens, right? His burden is light. His yoke is easy. We spend so much time carrying the burden. God's like, give it to me. I've got you. So the benefit is you get to experience his freedom, his fullness in your life. What is that worth to you? Is that worth letting go of some of the fear, ministering his truth to the fear, and talking to the fear and saying, like, this is what God says? Because a part of us is holding that fear, but we get to tell it what God says about it, right? That God is able to cover us. So if you are experiencing a lot of fear and you're not walking in faith, really take some time to minister to the fear and know that you are not alone on this journey. God has got you. I'm sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.